Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Greater Life, Greater Impact. I'm Janet. Today, we're going to be learning, well, not learning, we're actually going to do some healing. Sorry, it's there's a ton of people trying to get in, so let me just see if I can help them with that. Yeah, so today we're going to be talking all about healing mother, father wounding, family wounding, any kind of wounds that you have from the pains of the past. And so I highly recommend that you get into a comfortable position, preferably feet on the floor, sitting nice and tall. We are going to just start off jumping right into doing some healing exercises for today. And that is our topic, healing mother and father wounding. And this actually can work and be applied to any kind of family or generational wounds or drama or trauma that you are carrying from the pains of the past. So this is going to be really powerful. We're going to do a lot of moving of energy today. I really want you to focus on the breath. I want you to focus on deep breathing. And before we actually get into any of the learning portion of this class, I want to help everybody just get grounded and centered and in a place where they can really absorb the information from a spiritual perspective instead of just an intellectual perspective. So I want you to focus on your breath, slow the breathing way down, and we're going to drop down out of our brains. We're going to drop down deep into our bodies. Your body is constantly in a perpetual state of now. It's in the infinite now. Your brain usually likes to take you to the past and project out into the future. And if you're dwelling on the past, you're probably going to feel disappointment, frustration, sadness, whatever, because of the pains and the suffering and the stories and the things that you've been through. If you're projecting out into the future, you're probably going to feel anxious and worried and stressed and some anxiety coming up because of the pains of the past. So it behooves us, if we're going to do some healing, to really get into your body and be in the present moment now. So one of the best ways to really get you into the now and to get out of this intellectual rat race and this trap that your brain can sometimes pull you into is the breath, is by following and paying close attention to your breath. And so I want you to just slow your breathing way down right now. Breathe in through your nose and your mouth if you feel like that's going to be helpful. But I want you to take in nice deep inhales. And on the inhale, I'm going to invite you to just pretend that you're drinking in tons and tons of liquid light. Maybe even love. Okay. So all of the nurturing, all of the stuff that you wanted but didn't get, all of the stuff that you need but feel like you lack, I want you to breathe it in the form of liquid light and in the form of love, self-love. And so as you breathe in, just become aware of your body. The exhale is all about emptying your body and letting go. So on the exhale, I'm going to invite you to just empty and release and let go and let go and let go. So you're definitely going to want to continue to pay attention to your body. So look for the pockets of tension. Are you holding stuff in your shoulders or in your face or anything like that? You can roll your head around on the top of your shoulders, just to open up some space there. You can roll your shoulders around, open up space there. But the most important thing is focus on the breath. Focus on your body, pay attention to your body. And I want your movements to be so slow. Let the breath slow down, let your brain slow down. Breathe in, breathe out. Look for those little areas or pockets of tension where you're storing data. The data, the stories, the pains, the the chaos from yesterday, from 15 years ago. Let that go. So I want you to look for the little pockets of where are your muscles tight? Where are you holding on to stuff? And just be willing to let that go on the exhale. Be willing to breathe in deeply everything that you need to make you feel safe and loved and happy on the inhale. So keep going with the breathing. And as you drop your attention down inside, as you go inside of your body, put your attention within. We want to drop down out of the brain. We want to drop down deep into the heart, deep into your gut, deep into the lower gut. And eventually, with the breath, as you're breathing and softening and relaxing and letting go and letting go and letting go, I want you to just find yourself a resting place. You can rest just below the heart in your center. You can rest at the base of the spine in your hips. You can also rest underneath your feet. So those are three really good rooting, grounding, anchoring places to take your attention. The goal is to just get out of your head, drop down into your body. The body is perpetually in a state of now, the infinite now. So if you want to be present, if you want to go into the now, if you want to have more power, drop down deeply into your body. And then the last phase of centering is I want you to just feel like your feet belong on the earth, that they belong there. Feel that magnetic pull as if your feet are magnets to the earth. Just feel yourself feeling rooted, stable, grounded. You can also take like a grounding rod from the base of your spine and just plant it down deep into the earth and let that go deep down into the earth. You can grow roots from your feet, underneath your feet, spiritually, energetically. You're going to have to use your imagination for this. So as you breathe and soften and relax and let go, we're just going to go down, grow those roots deep into the womb of Mother Earth. Ooh, that safe place where you feel safe and stable and nurtured and warm and held and cradled and cuddled and fed. All of your basic human earthly needs are met in the womb of Mother Earth. Breathe in, breathe out. I'm going to invite you to go to the base of the spine or under your feet because we are going to work on the root chakra today, which is the base of the spine all the way down your legs and under your feet. We're also going to work on the sacral chakra, which is your lower belly and your hips. And we're going to work on the solar plexus, those three energy centers. We have a lot of work to do. So I really want to just dive in right now. But as we dive in, I want you to focus on your breath. I want you to focus on dropping your awareness down deep into your body. Get into your center. Be aware of the center from the top of your head to the tips of your toes or underneath your feet. Be aware of that midline. And with the breath, do not hold your breath. Let that breath be continuous. Breathing in, right back out, and then back in, right back out. Do not hold the breath yet. I just want it to be nice and fluid. So on the inhale, I'm going to invite you to just drink deeply from Mother Earth. So let's pretend that your legs are big, giant straws, and you're sucking up the energy from the earth up into your body and out the top of your head on the inhale. And then on the exhale, all that light from up above, from the God connection, sweeps down through every aspect of your being and your body, and it goes down through your body and out through your feet, back into Mother Earth on the exhale. So breathing in, it goes up. Breathing out, it goes down. It comes in and goes down. Breathing in, you draw it up from the earth. Breathing out, Just let it shine down and wash over you. I want you to just invite yourself to be aware that on the inhale, as you bring that energy in from the earth, that energy is permeating your bones. It's coming into your bones. It's coming into your flesh. It's coming into all of your organs, your heart, your lungs, your throat, your face, behind your face, through your skull. It's coming into every particle of material that makes up your body, every atom, every subatomic particle is being nourished by the inhale. And on the exhale, that light that's coming in is expanding out. So when you breathe out, push your light out, push your aura out into that auric field all around you. See if you can fill up the room with your light, with your essence, with your presence, with your energy. Take up more space in front of you, behind you, above you, below you. So breathing in, calling in your higher self all the way in. When you breathe out, you're pushing that light out. Those of you who are just joining us, just now we're getting centered by drawing our attention into the body, going down to the base of the spine, anchoring in at the base of the spine. That is an anchor point, and also under your feet, feeling that your feet are magnetic to the earth. And then when you breathe in, you just draw that nurturing energy from the earth up your body. You breathe out, draw the light from up above back down your body. So breathe up on the inhale, let it go down on the exhale. I want you to think about all of the tension and the gunk and the gook that's stored in your body, any of that data that's stored on your hard drive from the pains of the past. I want you to think about all of that data from those corrupted files sitting on the hard drive. You're just doing a clean sweep, and you're allowing all that data to just be purged out the body, down and out the feet on the exhale, going down into Mother Earth, into a big black hole below your feet where it gets processed and turned back into light and healing energy. So everything that you breathe out is turned into liquid light. Keep breathing. And then the third step is the expansive phase. I want you to feel expansion. I want you to feel on the exhale. So breathe in deeply, breathe your higher self in, breathe in the I am, bring that into your bones, bring it into your organs, your tissue, the flesh, every single tiny little minute micro particle, the quantum particles of your physical body. Breathe your I am, your light into all those particles. Breathe it deep down into the bones, nourishing and washing and feeding everything that you need, breathing it in. And on the exhale, just letting go and releasing all the gunk, all the garbage, all the baggage, all of the corruption within, the unhealthy belief patterns, the stored negative emotions, all that stuff. You're just going to breathe that out. And on the exhale, just go ahead and push your light out in every direction, in front of you, behind you, above, and below. So when you breathe out, fill up the room that you're in. Breathe in, call your higher self into your bones and into your tissues and into the flesh. When you breathe out, expand it. You want to look for expansion. So now, as you're continuing to get centered and to expand your aura out and push that light out into the room and into the cosmos, really, it's going to go beyond the walls, beyond the city, beyond the geography. It's going to go out into the ether. So as you're doing that work, relaxing, breathing, softening, I want you to pay attention to your body. We're going to go down to the root chakra first. So the root chakra is all about stability. It's your foundation. It's where you store issues that have to do with family, This is the place in the body. The root chakra is located at the base of the spine, the hips, the legs, the feet, and even under your feet. It governs the blood, the bones, the skeleton. It governs your foundation, the feet that you stand on, your autonomy. It governs your basic human needs. It's where you process the meeting of those basic human needs. It also is where you process the fact that you're a part of a tribe, and as a part of that tribe, you're trying to find your own way. You're trying to find your own individuality as a part of a greater collective whole. So it's like being one star that shines in the sky, the ocean of billions of stars. The stars don't compete for each other's light. They just shine in a very sovereign way, rooted, grounded, stable. So I want you to feel that stability. I want you to feel plugged into your root. I want you to feel yourself at the base of the spine. So one thing that we can do to help you stay anchored at the base of the spine as we open up this root chakra is breathe into the base of the spine as if you were breathing into an imaginary nose where your tailbone is. Breathe in, breathe out. On the exhale, push your light out. Expand, expand, expand. But keep your awareness at the base of the spine. So this is the place where we process the feelings of stability, grounding, family, home. It's your foundation. So I want you to just drop down to the base of the spine and let's open that up. So the root chakra is associated with the color red. I want you to picture a big, beautiful, brilliant, luminous, radiant ball of red light at the base of the spine. It envelops your hips. It goes down the legs, the knees, the ankles, and the feet. It goes down and plugs into the earth like you plug in your blender. The root chakra plugs into the womb of Mother Earth. And I want you to feel that grounding, stable energy. And go ahead, if you want to, out loud, I want you to just close your eyes, feel into the root chakra, open that space up, expand that big, beautiful, brilliant ball of light out and say, I am rooted. I am stable. I put myself on my fundamental ray now. I put myself on my fundamental ray now. This is the origin of you. This is the foundation of you. Nobody else can give you that. I am safe. So I want you to just breathe into that area. The root chakra is all about safety and stability. And so if there's areas in your life where you don't feel grounded, you don't feel stable, you don't feel safe, maybe even in family, I want you to think about that for a minute and just notice what comes up for you. Notice where you feel the tension and just choose to breathe that out and let it go and release. Just letting yourself realize as an infinite, eternal being of light, you are safe. Nothing can threaten infinity. Nothing. You can't run out of time. You can't die. You can't lose anything. And nothing can be taken from you on this level of awareness. So I am safe. I want you to say that out loud a few times. As you are rooting into the root, the foundation of your soul, the foundation of your being, I want you to notice that this is where we process feelings and emotions that have to do with family, your beginnings, your foundation, the basic human needs. So as you're contemplating and thinking about issues around family, maybe issues around not being able to provide for your basic human needs, or maybe your parents didn't do a very good job. Maybe not that they didn't do a good job, but maybe they were unable to provide well for your basic human needs. and your emotional needs. I want you to just think about some of these things. Now that you're centered and you're expanded and you're in a stable place, let's bring up some of this wounding that you need to let go of. So where in your family, growing up, and even now, where do you not feel safe in your foundation, in family, in the providing for your basic human needs? Where do you not feel safe about those things? Like maybe you didn't feel like you belonged. Maybe, as a part of a tribe, maybe you were the black sheep. Maybe you felt misunderstood. Maybe you didn't feel safe at home. Breathe into that and just let it go. And just be willing to let that energy release on the exhale. Notice where it's coming up for you. Notice where the biofeedback is. Where do you feel these feelings of instability and unsafety coming up? Where are all of the issues around your family? Maybe even you have generational stuff coming up that you feel like you have inherited from your family. So I invite you to step into your own grounding, your own stability. As you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to just push your light out, push it right through these wounds. And as you do that, as that light starts to shine through all of this data, breathe in, breathe out, just let go. Give yourself permission to release. Give yourself permission to hit that delete button and let go of these corrupted files that came up as a result of family wounding. Step into the now. Step into the now with your breath. Step into the now by noticing your body. Pay attention to what you feel and where do you feel it? Where is the tension? Where are you storing this information? Alicia says, what does that ray thing mean? The fundamental ray. So as we root ourselves and ground ourselves and get into that stable foundational energy, your fundamental ray, I like to think of it as, think of astrology. Think of how important it is in astrology to know the time, the date, and the place where you incarnated into this physical mortal body. That's your fundamental right. You came into this mortal probation on a specific frequency. So that's your fundamental ray. Dialing in to the frequency that is meant for you in this mortal probation. So it helps to determine what your personality is going to be like, what your interests are, what your mission and your purpose and your passion is going to look like in this probation. That's your fundamental ray. And we want to dial into that because we want to fulfill our highest purpose here while we're here. We're not here for very long. Okay, step into the infinite now. And I want you to go into the energy of your family, past, present, and future. So your family line forwards and backwards, and even present right now. I want you to tap into family, both sides of your family. Your mother's side, your father's side, your husband's side, your wife's side. Tap into all that family means to you in the present and also from the past. And what does family look like moving into the future? Woo! And where does the anxiety come up for you? I don't know if you guys are feeling that, but there's some anxiety coming up. Lots of people have triggers and blocks and healing to do around family. So where does it come up for you? And where do you feel that? And notice what you feel. Does it feel heavy? Does it feel like stabbing, wounding, painful, sad, happy, joyful? What are you noticing? Just notice what you notice. And just tell yourself, I am present with it now. So I want you to think about family lines, all of the family lines that pour into you, that have influenced you and affected you, and all of the connections the healthy connections and the unhealthy connections, the way that you have corded yourself and connected yourself to people through suffering or through love. All those connections, I want you to look at all the connections and all the people and think of them as like you're tethered to a big helium balloon. Only there's hundreds, if not thousands of helium balloons, and you're holding the string and you're tethered to all of these people that are influencing you now in this moment now. They're making feelings come up in your body right now. And so we're going to just go into a state of forgiveness and a state of letting go and a state of releasing. You can still be bonded, I guess, yoked, covenanted, whatever you want to call it, to those that you love deeply through love, if that makes you feel comfortable or if that makes you feel safe. But if there's any unhealthy, unnecessary attachments or connections where they're draining you of your energy, and maybe you're draining them, or you're projecting onto them unhealthy energy that isn't love, we're going to let those go. So I want you to picture all of your family line, forward and backwards, every line that affects you in this moment, all those thousands and thousands of people. Just see them as if they're big helium balloons and they're just floating, and you're holding the bundle. And then when you're ready, take a big breath in and a big breath out, and we're just going to release and send them to the light. Set them free, send them to the light, hand them all over to God so that God can resolve them. It's not your job to judge. It's not your job to fix. It's not your job to stay stuck around these energies. It's your job to just let them go, let them be who they are, send them to the light, and let them process all by themselves, whatever it is that they need. God has got that part for you. You don't have to worry about that. It's not your job to fix. So just as you breathe out, let go, let go, let go. And I want you to say out loud, I bless them. Drop your shoulders on the exhale, letting go of your family line, letting go of generational curses, letting go of generational patterns, gunk, problems, anxiety, forward and backward. As it is deeply rooted in you, letting it go, letting it go. On the exhale, breathe it out, push your light out, keep your awareness at the base of the spine. That's where we're processing. It's important that you stay at the base of the spine and you do not hold your breath. Keep the breath flowing and moving, releasing as you breathe out. We want to focus on the exhale because that is where you're letting go. And as you send them to the light and just release and let go, I want you to say, I bless them. Or you can say a prayer and ask God to bless them. Whatever works for you, however the lingo needs to be, it doesn't matter. Breathe in, breathe out, and I want you to say, I release them from my suffering. Breathe it in, breathe it out. I release them from my suffering. It's not their fault. It's not their responsibility. It's not my fault that they're suffering. So I'm going to also release their suffering from me. Breathe in, breathe out, soften, drop your shoulders on the exhale, relax into your body. Notice those little pockets of tension. That's where you're storing data. That's where you're storing the pains of the past. Wherever there's tight muscles, you may notice some in the gut, just below the ribs. So press down with your thumb on the upper stomach and just let those muscles release and relax and soften. Drop your shoulders on the exhale, letting it go. So I bless them, I release them from my suffering. And lastly, I want you to say, I forgive them. I forgive them. Just noticing that they're all individual humans, and hurt people hurt people. And so if any of them hurt you or are hurting you, it's because they themselves are feeling inner pain. So can you allow yourself to just go into a state of compassion for the level of pain that these family members must have had in order to project their pain and suffering onto you, at whatever degree that looks like? Maybe there was abuse. Maybe there was like horrible things, unspeakable things that happened to you. Maybe it's just something small you need to let go of. Doesn't matter. It's all the same. The process is the same. So just breathe out and let go. Next, I want you to say, I bless myself. So I want you to think about yourself now. You've been set free from all of these attachments and these tethers that were holding you down and weighing you down and keeping you stuck. Now you're free. So I bless myself. And just send yourself light. Breathe it in on the inhale. Fill yourself up with it. On the exhale, letting go of the pains of the past from your family. I bless myself. Now, I want you to say out loud, I release myself from these struggles and these pains from my past. I release myself from the pain. It's not serving me anymore. It's not useful to me anymore. So I'm choosing to breathe it out and let it go. Drop your shoulders on the exhale, relax your gut and your face. Notice where in your body, the tension, the heaviness, the gunkiness, notice where that biologically comes up for you. Where are you feeling the biofeedback? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel stuck? Does it feel empty? Does it feel painful? Does it feel, you describe it. This is your experience. Just notice it. Woo, yeah, yeah. Someone says, I feel anxiety, and I feel itchy. Okay, itchy is a sign of healing. It's also a sign of release. It's coming, the toxins are coming out through your skin. So I bless myself. You can also say a little prayer. God, bless me, heal me, release me from the bonds or the bands or bonds of iniquity from the generations of my fathers and mothers. Ask God to release you from the bonds of iniquity, the generational curses, the programming, the pains of the past that got handed down to the next person. I think of, a father who physically abuses a son, then makes that son feel worthless. And then that son who feels worthless grows up to be a dad who then doesn't know what to do with his pain. So he projects it onto his child and makes that child feel worthless, and so on and so on and so on. Well, where did it begin? Who the hell knows? It doesn't matter how far back it goes, how many hundreds of generations back it goes. What matters is that now that it's found residence in you, you are responsible for that. You're responsible. Doesn't mean you're to blame. It just means you're responsible for what you're going to do with it. Are you going to continue to allow corrupted files to sit on your hard drive and weigh down your system, gunking up all the channels? Or are you going to go have your hard drive cleaned up? That's what we're doing. And so lastly, I want you to just breathe into your center, drop down to the base of the spine and let go of this gunky energy and say, I forgive myself for carrying this. Drop your shoulders, breathe in, breathe out. Good job. Good job. Keep breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth as you continue to let go. Okay, now we're going to move into the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is the next energy center up from the base of the spine. It's this big, beautiful, golden orange ball of luminous light in your hips, in your pelvis. in the lower gut. It governs the fluids of the body. It governs sensuality, sexuality. It houses things that have to do with family. It houses things that have to do with mother and the womb. So whether you're male or female, you still have divine feminine aspects of yourself. And this is where those aspects of you, the divine feminine, resides. This is where passion and sensuality, and I'm not just talking about sexuality. I'm talking about, to be sensual is someone who can enjoy and connect with all of the senses. The 5 physical senses. It's the mud between your toes. It's the wind in your hair. It's the smell of fresh food cooking. It's the taste. It's the experience of cooking the food, the sounds. It's all of the 5 senses being lit up so that you can experience this world in a wonderful way. So the base of the spine, the root chakra, is about meeting your basic human needs, but the sacral chakra is meeting your basic human needs with pleasure, with desire, with what lights you up and feeds your soul and makes you come alive. It is you think about when you walk into a home and there's a fireplace, an empty room, and there's this fireplace. Think about the difference between a fire, a big roaring fire being in that fireplace, and then the fireplace being empty and cold. So if there's a fire in the fireplace, you are lit up in the sacral chakra. Yeah, Alicia says, wow, major epiphanies with the clarity on this chakra. Yes, it's about mother. So this is where we're going to deal with mother wounds, the wounds from the pains of the past, and maybe how you felt let down or betrayed by mother, or maybe just unloved or not nurtured in some way. So I want you to think of, in the pelvis, in the hips, this big golden orange, brilliant, beautiful ball of light opening up and expanding as you breathe out. Push that light out in every direction. Allow this region to just open up space for healing. So this is where sensuality, sexuality is governed. That's creation energy. The sexual energy inside your body is creation energy. And if the fire is out in the fireplace and it's cold and it's dark and there's nothing there, how in the world are you going to create? How will you be able to create anything? And it's not just about creating babies. It's about getting your creative juices flowing. That's why the sacral chakra is all about flow and water, and it's connected to the moon. The root chakra that we just focused on is connected to the earth, to the womb of Mother Earth. But the sacral chakra in your hips and your pelvis, and where all the sex organs and sex glands are, it's about passion and desire and drive. What feeds your soul? What lights you up with passion? What is it that you can't get enough of? What is it that drives you? What is the driving force behind why you do what you do? So this is connected to moon energy. It's the divine feminine. It's connected to mother. It's mom energy. So I want you to think about all the moms in your life. I want you to think about maybe if you're a woman, being a mother. If you're a man, the mother of your children, or your own mother, your grandmother, the mothers of your grandchildren. Think about mothering in general. This is the divine feminine aspect coming up in you, and everybody has it. It should feel warm and fluid and flowing. There's a reason why when creation energy is alive, that sexual energy is alive in your body, there's a reason why it gets juices flowing and your blood starts flowing, and your heart starts pumping those fluids through the body.
Janet, I have a question.
That's nurturing. It's warm, it's safe. This is where the primal feelings live. It's all about nurturing. So I want you to just think about your mother. I want you to think about motherhood. I want you to think about motherhood issues, having a mother. Were you nurtured by your mother? I have some questions. So when in your life did your mother let you down? When in your life did your mother, was she not available for you? She couldn't nurture you because maybe she was dealing with a lot of pressure and a lot of stress and a lot of wounds herself. And so she couldn't be available for you because she was on overwhelm. And are you in a similar position in your life around the nurturing of your children? If you have children. And if you don't have children, it doesn't matter. The energy is still there. That divine feminine, mothering, nurturing, warm, passionate, compassionate energy is still in you. You can still light it up. You don't have to have children to light that up. So it's where you're storing emotions. So if you have issues with passion or desire, maybe you feel empty, maybe you feel blah, maybe you feel dead inside, or blah inside, like nothing is lighting up your soul right now at the moment, then look at your wounds from the pains of the past with mother, around mothering and nurturing and the divine feminine. Okay, so when was your mother not there for you? I want you to notice those feelings. What is the biological feedback that's coming up around your mom, or being a mom, or any kind of mom, any kind of nurturing? How did she abandon you? When did you need to be nurtured, held, loved in your life, and you didn't get that? Maybe, for me, I felt it the most when I went away to college, and I got sick for the first time being away from home, and there was nobody to make me soup or put a warm cloth on my forehead or, comfort me. I didn't have anybody. I just had to comfort myself and just endure the sickness. And I felt so alone and so disconnected from the nurturing that I felt like I needed that I wasn't getting. So I just want you to think about that nurturing energy, the abandonment of it, the loss of it. How does it affect you? What is the story inside of you? How old were you when you first felt it, abandoned by your mother? I think I was very little, because when I was born, my mother already had a 12-month-old little boy plus 2 toddlers. I think that I was an accident. Well, actually, I probably was an accident, but I was also born a month early. And so that just made it even more difficult for my mother. She was already dealing with 3 little children, and my brother just above me was kind of a handful for her at the time. Well, so were the 2 toddlers, right? So she, her hands were full. I think she was overwhelmed. And so I felt very alone as a little baby. And on top of that, when I was learning to walk, and my mother was obviously on overwhelm, because I went down the stairs, a flight of stairs in a walker, and ended up with 2 black eyes and a bloody nose and bruises and a concussion, and as a baby. And it, I think, explains a lot why I am the way I am today. But it also, I think that it stifled my ability to step out in the world, because it was too terrifying. Right. So I had to heal a lot of abandonment, mother issues, like, where was my mother? Right. When that was going on. So what issues do you have around this nurturing, this divine feminine? Also, maybe even ponder on what role, what effect has your sexuality played on you? Has sexuality, for the most part, been traumatic for you? Or has it been healing for you? So think about that. Think about those primal instincts that live in the sacral chakra. Your creativity, your passion, your desires, your dreams. Like this is where really, this is the place in you where dreams are born. They are ignited because, you know, that fire in the fireplace is what ignites passion and desire and dreams. And dreams come true as we move up into the power center. And you start stepping out in a bold way, but dreams are born in the solar plexus. So I want you to close your eyes, think about all of this wounding, think about sexuality, think about nurturing, think about your mother, think about being a mother, and all of the issues and all of the gunk and all of the trauma and all of the drama that's coming up for you around any of that. Breathe into it and let it go. Again, drop your awareness down into the base of the spine. Breathe, expand your aura out, and soften and let go of the tension that's coming up around that. Breathing, 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 letting go, letting go, letting go. We want to look for non-resistance. We want to get to a place of non-resistance. So find where you're storing. There's a lot coming up for me in the upper gut around mother issues. Like I didn't feel empowered by my mother because my mother was kind of timid and a little bit shy and she didn't really nurture my ability to step out into the world. I was a very fearful child growing up. And I think that I absorbed a lot of her own fears, right? Because she was very timid. She was very hesitant to step out. Lots of fear in stepping out. And so I think I absorbed a lot of that. So let's go into some forgiveness energy and see if we can release whatever's coming up for you around mother. Did your mother project her pains and her fears and her sadness and her whatever onto you? Elisa says, I feel guilty for acknowledging these things, probably because I know my kids will have a lot of issues from me. Yeah, well, that's how life is. It's just a handing of the baton cycle that goes over and over and over. Nobody has a perfectly clean slate when you bring children into the world. You're going to hand stuff down, and you're supposed to. You're supposed to. That's what this life is all about, is learning how to overcome what was given to us, the pains of the past from all of our generations that went before us. My mom was amazing, but I've picked up so much. Yeah. So just forgive. The way through it is to release it and let it go and not blame yourself or her or anybody else for it. So let's just go into forgiveness energy. I want you to see the holographic version of your mother standing in front of you. Karen says, my mother was mentally ill. I always felt guilty because I didn't love her when she couldn't be there for me. Yeah, that's okay. It's okay. It's okay that you didn't feel loved, and it's okay that you didn't know how to reciprocate that non-love. You didn't know what to do with that. So that's okay. But now we're going to just choose to release that blockage and let that go, because it's not serving you anymore. It's time for healing. It's time to let go of the baggage that you picked up from her and let it go. So breathe in, breathe out. Dropping down to the base of the spine. Drop your shoulders on the exhale and just release and let go. And I want you to say out loud, I bless my mother. She did the best that she could with what she had and with where she was at. She had her own pain and grief and sorrow and struggles and overwhelm and whatever she was dealing with. So let's have some compassion for mother. Breathe in, breathe out, and just let go. Now, if there's too much trauma around mother, like maybe there was some real craziness or real crazy abuse that went on, just let it go. I just want you to be able to let it go and release it. Ooh, breathe in, breathe out. I bless my mother. I bless her. You can even say a prayer. God, please bless my mother. Send her to the light. Help her to find healing and compassion and resolution from the pains of her past. I release my mother from my own suffering, the suffering that comes up inside of me when I think about her. I release my mother from that. I'm letting her go. Breathe in, breathe out, let it go. And I forgive my mother for the pains of the past that were projected onto me, that I picked up on. Shauna says, there's a taste and a smell that I can't describe. Ooh, yes. Okay, so that is just some psychic sensitivity that's coming up. You're tuning in to that, your spiritual senses, right? And maybe if you can figure out what that taste or that smell is, it might be associated with your mother or your grandmother or somebody that played a mother figure in your life. So see if you can figure out what that is. Yes, this can apply for mother-in-law as well. Any nurturing, mothering figure in your life that has influenced or affected you in any way, shape, or form, and to the degree that you have to let something go that's weighing you down and bogging you down, we're going to let it go through forgiveness. So I forgive my mother or my mother-in-law. Okay, next, I bless myself. Breathe in, breathe out. Drop your shoulders, let go of that tension, find where you're storing this in the body and let it go. Soften those muscles, let go, let go. I bless my mother, I bless myself, and I release myself now from this pain and suffering. I'm ready, finally ready to let it go. It's not serving me anymore. I felt what I needed to feel. I learned what I needed to learn. Now I'm ready. It's time for me to let go of the baggage that I've been carrying, this big backpack of rocks that I've been carrying around. I'm ready to let that go. This is my suffering. I created these buttons. I created the suffering inside. I put meaning to it. I put the story there. And now I'm letting it go. I'm choosing to let go of all of it. Letting go of the story, letting go of the attachment that's unhealthy, letting go of the pain and suffering that's within you. And just say out loud, I forgive myself for carrying this. You can also say to mother, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what's in me around all of this, the baggage that I'm still carrying. Please forgive me for not letting it go. And thank you for the opportunity to learn. Good. Now, I want you to focus on, well, let's go to the last phase of forgiveness. And I bless all the witnesses to my suffering. Breathe in, breathe out. I release all the witnesses to my suffering. And I forgive all the witnesses unconditionally. I forgive all of the people that played a role and influenced my suffering. I forgive unconditionally. Breathe in, breathe out. Drop your awareness down to the base of the spine. Keep your attention at the base of the spine. You don't want to leave there. You want to stay there so that you can process through this. What nurtures you? What feeds your soul? What is it that you desire? What is it that you want? What do you want to create in your life? What lights you up? What fills you with passion? What motivates you? What do you love? What brings you joy? What lights the fire in the fireplace inside of your being? Think about those things for just a minute and bring them in. And just tell your body and your being and the universe, thank you for all these things that light me up, that allow me to create. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I want you now, as the grown-up, go into your imagination, go inside of your body, drop down to the base of the spine or into your heart space. And I want you to picture the little, younger, wounded child you, the wounded you. And I want you to step in as the grown-up, or play that role of the mother figure, or invite the Divine Mother, Heavenly Mother, to step in and play that role with you. You choose what works best for you. Let it come up the way that it wants to. Let your imagination play it out, but step in and pick that little child up and look that little child in the eyes, him or her, and embrace that little child and say to them, I see you. I hear you. I'm sorry that you had to experience what you did that hurt so bad. I'm here for you. And hold them. Just hold that child in your arms. And connect with the Divine Mother and see if she gives any additional insight as to what that child in you needs. What does that wounded child in you need? And just let that play out. Let the Divine Mother provide that nurturing. You can provide that nurturing. Your highest self, if you are a mother and you want to play that role as the mother, your higher self can come in that way and just hold little you and provide the understanding and the acknowledgement and the validation that you needed that you didn't get. Help that little child in you to feel safe. If it's not child that's coming up that's wounded, go to whatever age you were and provide that nurturing. Okay. We got to move on, or we're not going to make it through to father wounding. This is kind of, I feel, a very important part. In fact, if not the most important aspect of healing both mother-father wounding and family wounding, comes up in the solar plexus. So your solar plexus is just below the heart. It's in the upper gut, just below your sternum. And I want you to just place or picture a big golden yellow ball of radiant luminous light. This is sun energy, connected to father, connected to literally the sunshine, connected to the sun, connected to light. It's fire in your gut. So as you have dreams and passions and purpose that comes up from your creation center, as it moves up in you and comes up into the power center just below your heart, that's where the fire gets lit. That's where you get it done. So the masculine, the divine masculine energy in you is what causes you to get shit done. I mean, you step out in a bold and a brave and a autonomous way and in a sovereign way, and you get it done, right? But below that, in your sacral chakra, that's where you dream it up. That's where you create it in the spiritual form, and then you hand that baton over to the divine masculine that lives within you in order to move in that direction, get it going. So if you can dream up a lot of really great ideas, but they can never come to fruition, then you probably need to open up the masculine energy inside of yourself and work on the solar plexus energy. So the solar plexus is, again, it's connected to the color yellow and gold. It expands from your center. It's your core. It expands from your center and it goes up into the heart and it opens up and expands your heart, opens you up to love and to manifestation and to creating miracles and to attracting the things that you desire in your life. So it lights you up, it opens you up, it expands you out open, and it keeps the heart open. It's about personal power. It's about sovereignty. It's about autonomy. It's about setting up and establishing healthy boundaries, setting goals, standing in your personal power as the sovereign king or queen of their own kingdom, and making things, your creations come to fruition. It's about engaging. It's also about accountability and free will and responsibility, taking responsibility for your life, your inner life and your external life. It's also protection energy. Think about the divine masculine. This is the divine masculine within you. So it wants to protect and guide. The divine feminine down below wants to nurture and have compassion and see you and hold you. So this is about confidence. It's about self-love. It's about loving yourself so intensely that you stand the hell up for yourself. And then eventually that's going to come through your heart center. It's going to come out through your voice, and you're going to speak up for yourself. This is the chimney. Your mouth is the chimney to the soul, right? But this is the core of your soul. This is where passion is actually ignited. You know, we talk about that fireplace. Well, it gets ignited in the fire center, which is your solar plexus, your power center. This is where confidence lives. This is where we value ourselves. We stand up for ourselves. We love ourselves.
Jonah?
We identify with our own true worth, our true mission, and we think, you know, I'm worthy. I'm worthy to live my mission and my purpose and my passion, and to have the resources come to me to live out my purpose and my passion. I'm worthy of that. As we boldly step out and make an offering in the world, this is where it comes from. So, you know, many of you, probably all of you, have had gut instincts, or you have felt repulsed by something in your life. You felt a pushing away, or you felt a magnetic drawing towards. That's your solar plexus. That's your gut instinct. That's what governs your gut, literally, your stomach. This is the place in the body, your personal willingness to be seen. Your solar plexus will help you stand up for yourself. This is your core. As you focus on this area, even in your physical exercise, your daily exercise and your workouts, you're going to develop more personal confidence, because it'll hold you up. You'll stand stronger and taller. That's your core, right? So there's so much pressure put on us in the world. Those of us who are awakening spiritually right now in the world, there's so much pressure put on us to be confined to these little boxes. Oh, go ahead, Toby Lynn, you have a comment or a question.
Yeah. One of the things that I've learned this week is, and it's surprising to me actually, that I had a heart of war.
Do I not hear you?
Pardon?
Hold on. I'm not hearing you, but can anybody hear Toby Lynn? Is it just me? Hold on just a second. Okay, go ahead.
So this week, after sitting with last week's session that you had talked about, and the physical holding patterns in my body, I've been really thinking about it a lot. And one of the things surprisingly comes to me is that I've had a heart of war. Mm-hmm. Even towards my children, I've had a heart of war because of the trauma I've been through. I've been defensive, easily offended, and I'm really surprised at that I've had a heart of war because I love people.
Mhm.
Yet I have noticed that the past has caused me to be protective. And what's coming up for me is that I need to look at this heart of war, because what I need is a heart of peace. And in the heart of war, there's a lot of pride. And I know my children have talked to me about pride before, and I didn't understand. I thought, no, I'm quite humble. Like, however, underneath the pain, the hurt, the anger, the trauma, I had grown a heart of war.
Yeah.
And I definitely have been stuck in a trauma response, this heart of war.
Yeah.
However, I have to change it in order to be the woman that I desire to be, with a heart of peace and humbleness. And I noticed that when my family would come around, I'd get defensive and or protective or standoffish, even just standoffish. That's still a heart of war.
Yeah.
That's not a heart of peace.
Well, and the attribute that's coming out is your divine masculine, because it wants to protect. But what we have to identify is we're not here to protect our ego, because that's just going to make us more defensive, right? And it's going to make us combative. But if we're here to protect our sovereignty and our free will and our autonomy, that's a whole different discussion. And that's okay. That is your divine masculine coming out, exhibiting that nature, that natural part of you, to want to protect what is sacred about you. And so that protective nature is okay, as long as it's steered in the right direction.
Well, that's the problem, is that it was because it was protective. I felt that I didn't, and it's been buried very, very deep. Like, all these classes that we've been doing, the breathing we've been doing has helped bring it to the surface,
Yeah.
so that my mind can deal with it now and go, holy crow, I have had a heart of war. Even though I was kind and nice, I was bitter, resentful, traumatized, and protective. Those and yeah, I just was very surprised this week that a heart of war is what I've been dealing with ever since. And it's a me against them attitude, because my mother was raped by my father that had me. She was only 13, he was only 16. They were forced to marry, and then they had me. Well, guess what? And when you said grandparents, I didn't even realize my grandparents were angry that I was born, and I took on that energy trying to heal everybody, and then became angry at myself for not being able to do that. And I became even a heart of war towards myself.
Yeah.
I've had, and through all these classes I've been taking, and all these healings and the scriptures and everything I've been doing, the Lord's been showing me, now is the time to heal this heart of war. It's time to put it down.
Yeah.
Like you said, the forgiveness has to happen, and forgiving myself. And it's just very interesting, this heart of war. It's just an interesting phenomenon.
How exciting for you, because I would ask you to go journal about this. Who do you get to be now that you're willing to lay down that heart of war, protecting the ego? Who do you get to be now that you're choosing intentionally to be fueled by love and be motivated by love, and then to step out boldly into love? Yeah, that's powerful. So there's a lot of pressure coming down on us as sovereign beings in the world right now. Pressure to be confined to these little boxes, to check the boxes, to fit into social norms, cultural systems, religious systems, political system, all of these different ideologies, I guess, of culture that is weighing down on trying to fit you and squash you into a little box that they want you to be in. So there's a lot of pressure on those of us who are awakening now to the fact that, no, I am a sovereign, individual, unique, divine, autonomous being of light. You cannot squash that into a box. It doesn't fit into a container that must conform to everybody else. And that is what's happening in the Great Awakening right now, is that people's power centers are being woken up, like fire is being lit inside of us, And we're starting to fight back for our freedom, for our liberty, for our autonomy, for our sovereignty. And so sovereignty is about being the queen or king of your own kingdom and saying to people, you know, I appreciate your feedback, but I'm sorry, that's not going to work for me. It's about standing up for yourself and having a voice and not being defensive, but protecting your free will and your autonomy as an individual, infinite, eternal, divine being that has the right to be individually expressed in this world in whatever way you are led to by the divine. You have that right. You are an expansive, unique expression of the light. And nobody has the right to diminish that or squash it or stifle it. Nobody has that right. So this is the center view that attracts challenges and obstacles for you to overcome. So just like what Toby Lynn was talking about, here she's got this power center that's starting to waken up inside of her. And she's recognizing and realizing as she comes through these challenges and obstacles she's faced in her life, look at how much power she now has, especially where she's chosen to ignite that power and have it be driven by love instead of fear. Do you see? Do you see how powerful as a being you guys can be? Will you stand in your own truth? Will you do that? Will you normalize your psychic gifts and your intuitive gifts in the world? And when people try to make you feel guilt and shame about that, will you stand up in the truth of who you really are and protect that part of yourself? Will you remain true to the inner core, the desires that feed your soul? When truth bubbles up inside of you, will you speak it? Will you trust the inner GPS, your inner gut response, your purpose, your passion, your talents, your mission, your gifts, your personal power, your social identity? Will you stand up for that stuff? Will you complete the projects that you start working on by opening up and expanding this power center within you? This is the divine masculine that gets stuff done, right? So that's going to take you stepping out in a bold and in a courageous way. But we can't do that until we heal the father wounds within us. This class might go a little bit over on time because we've got to heal daddy wounds. We've got to come through that. Let's see. This is about learning lessons around sovereignty. It's about learning lessons around personal power, autonomy, agency, boundaries, setting healthy boundaries, protection, freedom. Carla says, yes, please. Okay, good. Your dreams and your passion are created in the solar plexus, or I mean, the sacral chakra, as we talked about. And as that energy flows up, this is where you stand up for those things and you let people know what your boundaries are. What are you willing to do? What are you not willing to do? What serves you and what doesn't work for you? And this isn't about just going around being a self-serving individual. It's about igniting the purpose and passion and truth of your soul and stepping out boldly in that so that you can serve at a higher level humanity, so that you can give what you came here to give. It's all about giving. It's not about, this isn't self-serving. It's about igniting what you are designed to do here. A blender doesn't go around trying to fit into the box of what somebody else wants it to be. So a blender doesn't go, oh, somebody wants me to be a vacuum cleaner, so I'll try to do that. No, a blender, once you plug it into its power source, it blends your food. It does what it's designed to do. And you need to figure out what you are designed to do here. What is your mission, your purpose, your passion, your power? What are you here to give? And give that. Not what other people think you're supposed to confine yourself to a specific box to give that. That's not what you're here to do. Okay. Your dreams and your passion and your power are executed in the solar plexus, in your power center. That's where you take a stand. It's where you take responsibility. It's where you own your own stuff that comes up. It's where you rise up and own up to who you are. You don't back down when people pressure you, when people try to gaslight you, even when it's just subtle manipulation, when people are trying to guilt you or shame you or manipulate you or gaslight you. You discern that by standing in your sovereignty and saying, no, that doesn't work for me. And it doesn't work for you either. So it's being willing to discern, even at the most subtle level, the manipulation, the control that others have over you, and releasing yourself and freeing yourself from that. You owe that to the world to be the sovereign being that you are, and not back down and not apologize for who you are, but to just be. So this is the part of your core that recognizes and discerns when others are trying to take advantage of you. Okay, you've got to be aware of that. It's those gut instincts. It's those biological responses that come when, does your gut feel sick about something, or does it feel pulled or drawn towards something? Do you feel promptings or impressions or magnetized to something? Or do you feel repulsed by something? You got to listen to your gut and use that to help you navigate in the direction that you know you're supposed to go. And as you overcome these lessons, these challenges that come up in your life that are going to bump up against you and resist you and create challenges for you to overcome, then what will happen is that you may let go of some of those familial relationships, your family relationships that maybe weren't serving you so well, and you might start adopting new soul family relationships. You might start attracting to you people in your life that can support you. This isn't to say that you have to abandon your family. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if those relationships aren't ready to be healed, then as you step forward and stand in your own personal power, you will start to attract to you other nurturing relationships that can support you, but also sovereign people that want to be empowered themselves, that want to co-create with you from a sovereign place and not a codependent place or a needy place or a gaslighty, manipulative, what's the word? Narcissistic place. Do you see the difference? So it's co-creating with others at a very deeply sovereign level. So the activated solar plexus within you will guide you to experiences that will cause you to have to overcome challenges that will threaten your personal power and your confidence level and your ability to step out into the world boldly. It's going to cause you to grow a backbone. Well, guess what? Women who need to learn to grow a backbone likely will marry men who are manipulative and controlling and narcissistic, because the woman needs to learn to bring back, there needs to be balance in the male female aspects of her. And so she's going to be challenged with the opportunity to overcome and to discover what she's made of or what he's made of. Okay, so this is the place where you store the deepest woundings from father. So I want you to think about father wounds. Ooh, feel that. Are you feeling that? Drop down into the base of your spine. I want you to drop down into your body, go into your hips. Woo, there we go. Dropping down below your solar plexus, dropping down into your body, going down into the legs, occupying the space underneath your feet, but also the whole entire center from the top of your head down to the underneath your feet. Just getting grounded under your feet. In what way was I let down by Father? Alicia says, my neck is so tense. Okay, so sometimes spiritual attachments will come into our neck. So all I want you to do is raise your arm to the square, cast out whatever that interfering energy is that's coming up. However you want to do it. I usually just do it in the name of Jesus Christ. I command you to come out of my neck, come out of my body, come out of my muscles right now. So cast that off and away from your body and out of your body. Command it to come out of the muscles, the tissue. If it's anxiety or fear, call it out, name it. Whatever it feels like for you, name it, call it out. Spirit of fear, spirit of anxiety, spirit of tension. Okay. In what ways did Father ignore you? In what ways did Father let you down? In what ways did Father disapprove of you? You know, it's one thing to have Mother disapprove of you and you don't get that nurturing, but when you have Father disapprove of you, you're never going to be enough in the world. You'll never be enough, and you'll always be trying to prove it to the world that you're enough, because Father wasn't there to protect you. Father wasn't there to acknowledge you and to approve of you. Ooh, let that go. I want you to breathe. If you're feeling stuff coming up biologically in your body, let's get down into our bodies, go down to that processing center at the base of the spine and breathe and soften and relax and let go. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Yeah, good. Clarity's coming. That's great. Awesome. Does Father approve of my gifts and my talents and my unique individual identity? Does Father approve of my ability to succeed and to be me? And when Father doesn't approve of me, what do I do to find safety and protection and approval? What have I done? Do you live in terror of your Father's disapproval or his disappointment? Whew, there's stuff coming up there. Breathe that out. Notice where you're feeling it. Notice what your body's doing with it. Pay attention to the body. Breathe in through your nose, out through the mouth. We're going to do 15 fire breaths. This is really strong energy that's coming up in the divine masculine right now in the solar plexus. So we're going to do some fire breathing, jet the pipes, and get this to release. So put your awareness at the base of the spine. We're going to do 20 fire breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Go. Big deep breaths, long inhale. On the exhale, drop your shoulders, drop your awareness down into your body at the base of the spine. I want you to go within your power center, into that powerful leadership, confident, sovereign, autonomous place within you, that Father figure within you. And I want you to just invite Father, the divine Father, into that space. What does Father say? What does your higher self say? So take a few minutes and let that come up. Breathe in, breathe out. You may need to go into your intuition, into your imagination, and just listen. Put your awareness within, drop down to the base of the spine. What does Father say? Okay, we're going to go into forgiveness energy. I bless my dad. I bless my dad. Drop down to the base of the spine, breathe. Do not hold your breath. Keep breathing, dropping your shoulders, relaxing your face, letting go of tension. I release my dad from my own suffering and my own self-disapproval and my not enoughness. I release him. And I forgive my dad for being wounded himself. I forgive. And I release him and let him go, send him to the light, hand him over to God, hand him over into the arms of the Lord, and let him receive the healing that he needs. You don't fix him. You don't need to judge him anymore. You can just let go. Now we're going to go into I bless myself. Ooh, there we go. Breathe in, breathe out. Let that go. I release myself from my trauma, from my suffering around my father wounds. I release all of the father wounding, all of the tethers, all of the clinging, all of the self-disapproval, all of the fear. Ooh, there we go. I release and I let that go. And let go some more of that self-disapproval, and let go some more, and let go some more. And can you let go even more than that of all of the self-disapproval? And even more than that? And can you let go more than that? Breathe in, breathe out. Ooh, there we go. There's the release right there. Good job. And I give myself some approval. And I forgive myself for carrying this. And I give myself more approval. And more, and even more. Now we've come through family energy, we've come through mother energy, we've come through father energy, and what the different aspects or qualities and functions of that energy looks like. We've described all of it. You can go back and watch the replay. Now, ascended beings, sovereign ascended beings, like Christ, like Mary Magdalene, like the Buddha, all of these ascended masters who really, really got into their sovereignty were sovereign because they were balanced in both the feminine and the masculine energy. They were balanced in both the female and the male energy within them. The womb was allowed to open itself up. The power center was allowed to open up the heart and expand the heart. Someone says, I have a great sense of the effects of misogyny in my religious upbringing. I have 5 brothers, no sisters. Girls were definitely less than. I have felt it in my marriage as well. This has really helped. Yay. I'm so grateful. If this has helped you to stand more sovereignly on your own 2 feet, whether you were wounded by male energy or female energy, it doesn't matter. What matters is right now, being in the present moment now and coming to a state of resolution and balance. We do that through forgiveness and through letting go. That's how we do it. Through forgiveness and letting go. You can still continue to feel hurt and betrayed and bitter if you want to. That's your choice. But it's not going to serve you, and it's going to create an imbalance in you, and you're going to constantly draw to you relationships that will poke the bear and remind you that you're out of balance. So ascended beings recognize the need for both the male energy and the female energy within them, and not to deny the one or the other, but to really start with that root chakra, start with the base, start with the foundation, and move your way up into the desires and the passions and the sensuality and the sexuality. Believe it or not, women and men, your sexuality is vital for your spiritual growth and your spiritual ascension. Believe it or not, if you are shut down sexually as a sexual being and you've dammed up the flow of that creation energy in you, you have damned yourself. So it's about giving yourself permission to allow the flow of that energy to move through you and be ignited within you daily. I personally believe it should be ignited, come to fruition, and flow like a fire through your body daily, because that's how you will attract the greatest things in your life. You will spiritually awaken. It will help to enlighten your soul and your mind and impress things upon your mind and your soul. It'll help you to create. You'll be more creative. You'll be more loving, more compassionate. Have you ever noticed that when you have sexual energy freely flowing through your body, not from a place of lust, but from a place of true love, from a pure place of true love, when that's flowing through your body, how much better you feel about yourself and about others, how much more loving you are, how much more grounded and gentle and compassionate you are. It's important. It matters. It does. And that personal power, your drive. So coming up into the power center, your drive, standing in the sovereignty as the queen or king of your own kingdom, establishing healthy boundaries, standing up for yourself, protecting your free will, your divine identity. That's the divine masculine. And getting out there, stepping out in a bold way and getting stuff done. Using your gifts, your passion, your purpose, your inner drive, what drives you, what feeds your soul, using those things to light up the world with love. What is it that you love? What is it drives you? What is it that you've always wanted to have, be, or do? Focus on that. Go in the direction of that. And I guarantee you, you will have something more powerful to give than if you were to just kind of settle into a safe way of life, a safe job, a safe paradigm, a safe superficial type of relationship. Where's the passion in that? Just being safe. It's about stepping out and taking risks, risking being judged, being wrong, being deceived. God doesn't care about whether you're judged, wrong, or deceived. He doesn't care if you make a mistake, because there are no mistakes. There is learning, there is progression, there is forward motion, and you're learning from all of it. So there's no judgment in making a mistake. That's not a sin. There's no judgment in being deceived. That's not a sin. As long as you know where your heart is and you know who you are and where you stand with God, that's all that matters. Okay. Now, as you learn to honor all three of these centers, man, it's going to move you up into the more etheric, spiritual centers that will connect you to the divine. And we'll work on those next week, the next 3 or 4 centers. So as you honor these centers in you, the root at the base of the spine, the sacral in your hips and pelvis, the solar plexus just below your heart, as you honor these centers and let them be governed by your heart, they will open up your heart. They will expand your heart. And I can tell you this, I witness and testify in the name of Christ, there is no better feeling than to be a human being on the planet with an open heart, who is balanced in their male-female centers, being rooted and grounded in love. There's no better feeling than that. You will not have more, you will not find more joy than you will in that way, being stable, rooted and grounded in love. Now, what will the fruits of this will be self-love, self-compassion, self-healing, self-forgiveness, self-approval. It all comes from you. It was never supposed to be gifted to you by your mom and dad. Shauna says, thank you. Janet, I appreciate you sharing your gifts and light. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you receiving and being here and sharing a vulnerable experience of opening yourself up and doing your inner work. It's not easy. Yeah, thank you. And so the fruits of this, you'll know when you're on the right track and when you've achieved balance, because you'll start to develop self-love, self-compassion, self-forgiveness, self-approval, self-acknowledgement, self-confidence. All those things will start to open up, and they'll come from a place of love for you. It has to start there. It's fueled by the love that God has for you. And as you tap into God's love, it'll open you up to self-love. That's when you become a powerful human on the earth. That's when you have more to give than you ever thought you possibly could give, because you love yourself so deeply. It spills out everywhere you go. And people can't help but feel that love that's coming from you. So if you want to give more, it starts from within, that love center. That's how it spills out onto others. So let the root chakra be the foundation. Let it establish a foundation. Let your sacral chakra drive your passions and your purpose and your desires and light up your soul and formulate some creations based on what feeds you, based on what makes you feel love, based on the honor and respect that you have for yourself. Then let that power center give you feedback. Your power center, your gut, your intuition, let it guide you in the direction that you're going. What will your future reality look like? What are the gut instincts that are coming up for you? What feels right? What feels off? Notice the biological, physiological responses that your gut has to give you. What are you drawn to? What are you repulsed by? Does it expand your soul and feed your soul? Or does it cause you to clamp down? Your body will always give you feedback. Always, always, always. And so let's seek to open up these centers, bring balance to the centers, let them flow into one another. The root flows into the sacral, which flows into your power center, which opens up your heart. And from there, now you can connect with the divine out through the top of the head. Okay. Hopefully you guys, those of you guys who will watch the replay of today's healing session, I hope that you get a lot out of it. And just watch on my Facebook profile. And also I will be emailing this out. So if you are not on my email list, go to janetthurgood.com and get registered on my email list so that you can receive the replays from today. If I'm really, 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 really nice, I'll even put together a handout for you guys that kind of outlines some of this stuff and keeps it on a piece of paper so you can just glance at it. You guys have a blessed rest of your day. I know you all feel rooted and stable and grounded. Push that light out, and as you go out into the world, you will become the most stable energy in the room. I guarantee it. All right, take care, everybody. Love you. Bye.